Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy, Matt Bryan. You're like, hey, Matt, what's up with the hair? I'm gonna get my hair done today, get my hair retwisted. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm having an appointment at 11 o'clock. So I'm just gonna make my videos like this. If you don't like it, I don't care. All right, got another reaction video for you today. Let's get into it, shall we?
The twin towers of the Israel and the Nipstein, they came crashing down.
The once trusted science-based fitness community is now under fire. Tensions reached a boiling point when Mike Van Wyck physically attacked Jeff Nippard.
Damn.
Most people, of course, rallied behind Jeff, but soon after, Jeff himself became the target of backlash, accused of using science to defend two influencers many believed were anything but natural.
And anybody who's been, training longer than, 2 days can take one look at these guys and know that they're more than likely full of
Then came the controversy around Dr. Mike, with his PhD thesis criticized after heavily using it in marketing.
My conclusion is undeniable. Mike Israetel's PhD thesis is a failure.
Hundreds of basic errors, typos, incorrect references, even data tables with impossible standard deviations.
Yet, many were quick to refute the video and suggest its removal.
Somewhere along the line, an older version ended up in the repository.
I guess technically I submitted the wrong draft to the graduate school.
Only, it wasn't the wrong draft.
How do you submit the wrong draft for your PhD? Man, I'm separating that file. Even when I file stuff on the portal as a lawyer, I'm so paranoid that I'm gonna upload the wrong file that I say like, exclamation point file name, like exclamation. Well, I mean, you can't save exclamation point, but the point is I save it so I cannot get confused with anything else. How do you make such a mistake where you upload the wrong PhD thesis?
It was a final version.
So it appears that he's probably edited the version that Solomon reviewed, made a long rebuttal to discredit the critique, and misled everyone by suggesting it wasn't the final draft.
Is it possible that this was not fraud or forgery? I mean, maybe?
At this point, he's gonna have a friggin' PhD in geology because that's all Mike can do. He keeps digging himself another hole.
Despite the situation, many science-based creators rushed to his defense in comment sections and on podcasts. Perhaps why people are suggesting this should be the new science-based logo.
That's wild.
But jokes aside, the cracks in the science-based space have been forming for years. Science-based fitness rose to prominence to improve the industry, to cut through the bro science, the myths, and the noise that dominated the early YouTube years. The label carried a sense of prestige, and it helped me move away from disordered eating, train smarter, and make more progress. But over time, this label has been tarnished. What began as a movement based on evidence and honesty has started to look a lot like the very bullshit it set out to clear up, fueling confusion, controversy, and even an anti-science pushback. Beyond the gossip is a deeper problem about misinformation, and to understand it, it's worth taking a look at the origins of one of the top science-based channels that's helped me the most.
Hey guys, Dr. Israel here, continuing on in our personal training course with lecture number 4, which is on the nutrition basics.
Dr. Mike Israetel rose to prominence on the channel Renaissance Periodization.
I mean, I'm subscribed to him and it has helped me in my gains. I work out now and I don't feel hurt at all. I feel growth in my muscles. I see growth in my muscles, and I don't have the pain in my joints that I used to. I tried to ego lift and bro lift and frat boy lift all the time, but it is a real critique. If you guys found out that I didn't actually take the bar and I'm finessing that, then you guys be like, is any logic or any analysis this guy does is actually based on skills that he's learned to get his JD?
As he refined his evidence-based and sometimes chaotic breakdowns of fitness topics.
You don't need to try to sound smart. You don't want to be a nerd with no friends. Trust me. I've seen it myself.
Renaissance Periodization stayed relatively niche for years, but it built a loyal following amongst the more hardcore people who were tired of the bro science, and it was honestly refreshing. However, over time, the channel evolved. Their social media strategy sharpened, more clickbait titles, faster edits, and a steady increase in uploads. But with that, also came a shift in tone.
An hour of extra sleep that brings you from sleeping 2 hours less than you need to 1 less than you need is unreal powerful and comparable to tons of anabolic drugs.
Wow. Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
They often start with a provocative claim and then walk it back later with context.
Hammer curls are stupid, and if you do them, so are you. Just kidding, fellas. You're not stupid.
At this point, it is literally saying controversial, stupid bullshit, because in the fitness industry, pretty much any attention is going to make you money.
Perhaps a result of pumping out so much content, but more and more people have started pointing out their questionable takes.
If you have 1 or 2 glasses of wine a night, most nights, statistically it has almost no effect on anything negative-wise. It has maybe some curious positives here and there.
Because what does well in the scientific community is often vastly different to what does well on social media.
You should probably train more than the pro bodybuilders you follow.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Science is all about nuance, whereas social media rewards certainty.
Dairy is terrible for you.
Science focuses on evidence, while social media thrives on emotion.
Volume and trading volume is actually killing your gains.
Science moves slowly and carefully, but social media often rewards speed, certainty, and emotion. It's why creators are pushed to post more, even if it means sacrificing accuracy. A doctor's whiteboard presentation on calorie balance might pull 200,000 views, but a doctor telling you how to lose fat in 1 week, 24 million. That's the dilemma. If qualified professionals don't adapt to these formats, they risk getting drowned out by the people who will. People often spreading far worse
I mean, Chloe Ting is a small Asian girl doing ab workouts in scantily clothed gym clothes. No wonder has more viewers than the whole United States combined.
Information. Take Stephen Bartlett, for example. The BBC found that in 15 episodes of his top-ranked Diary of a CEO podcast that they analysed, each contained an average of 14 harmful health claims that directly contradicted scientific evidence. As a disinformation researcher put it, health-related clickbait content with scary titles does really well online, with the algorithm amplifying that. And when it's a doctor saying something catchy, like hammer curls are stupid.
Bro, my guy has to fix his sleeve, man. It's bothering me. This guy's got to fix his sleeve.
Or 2 glasses of wine a day is actually good. People take that far more seriously. Now, there's levels to this. Demonstrating a questionable exercise is hardly the same as comparing cancer treatments to medieval cures. And honest mistakes are not the same as consistent abuses of science. But we've already seen the consequences of doctors using flippant language and pandering, and it's especially harmful when it comes to nutrition.
Now I've got the #1 miracle in a bottle to burn your fat. Lightning in a bottle. It's a miracle flour to fight fat.
Dr. Oz was taken to court after his self-admitted use of flowery language to maximize views at the expense of information.
He wasn't taken to court. A congressional hearing is not being taken. I mean, it is a congressional hearing is not even a courtroom technically. Like, you do have to swear in, but there really is no consequence. You don't get the job or you do get the job. It's not like they were going to arrest him based upon his testimony. Unless he came out and said that he committed some heinous crime. He didn't go to court for flowery language. He was trying to become Trump was trying to appoint him to, what's his position now? Director of, he's not, RFK is the director of the health organization of WHO. I forget what position he was tapped for by Trump to run to, man, I can't remember for the life of me. But anyway, it's not a court hearing. He went to a congressional, it's not a court date. It is a congressional hearing. And they were asking him about his flowery language. I'm not here supporting or defending Dr. Oz, but it's different.
Quality.
Do you believe there's a magic weight loss cure out there?
The word, if you're selling something because it's magical, no.
It resulted in the Dr. Oz effect, where millions of people would go out and buy the shoddy supplements he'd promote. This is what happens when science becomes a marketing gimmick, used to attract attention rather than to help the viewer. Yes, it spreads questionable information, but worse, it changes how people see science itself. Science-based starts to sound like a magic bullet, and when people eventually realize the magic isn't real, many swing the other way, rejecting science altogether and falling into the hands of contrarians. This is what concerns doctors.
Because probity, honesty, transparency, and intellectual integrity isn't just a formality. It's the foundation that allows the public to trust us. The moment that promise is broken, the credibility of the individual might take a hit, but more importantly, the credibility of science itself suffers. When audiences see people with advanced degrees editing documents after criticism, deleting evidence or rewriting history, it feeds a much wider narrative that experts cannot be trusted.
Science helps us find patterns, not absolutes. As one expert put it,
science is the best tool we have to carve away the nonsense and get down to what is generally going to work for the most amount of people the most of the time. But that's all it is meant to do with the typical type of designs.
It keeps us honest, testing ideas and cutting through the hype, so we can save our time, effort, and money. But too often, that nuance gets lost in the chase for clicks.
If you call yourself an educator, be worthy of that title. Admit errors, show your process, protect the truth and not your pride.
Luckily, there's ways to spot misinformation in podcasts, TikToks, and YouTube videos. But first, it's worth looking at the sometimes sketchy research that this misinformation can stem from.
What happens when you don't fund them in secret? They post this bullshit study!
That was Greg Doucette, stoically responding to an unfavourable study on his supplement.
The friggin' Ajuga Turkistatica from Uzbekistan!
In fairness, the study does appear poorly designed, but this is why we have scientists, to make sense of all the research, and it's why they'll often consider a hierarchy of evidence, because not all research is equal.
Hey, some of you guys need to take a screenshot right now. Hey, hierarchy of scientific evidence. This is what you guys do. You start from the bottom and go to the top. Not YouTube videos, not Google search. Dang, he said Infowars. Dang, he got you. He's on some of your necks right now. Personal anecdotes. Oh, he's on some of your necks. Gut feelings, parental instinct. Oh, that's all. Oh, he's got some of you. Some guy you know. Websites like Natural News, Infowars, Natural Health Warriors, Collective Evolution, Green Med Info. Oh, he's on some of your necks, man. Oh snap! Hey, let me get out of the way here so y'all can. Let me hide real quick so you guys y'all can check this out. Hold on. Let me get out of the way there. Everybody taking their screenshot. All right. Okay. Cool. I'm back. Don't worry. I never left.
Expert opinion is and should be considered the lowest form of evidence. Best form of research is a meta-analysis. It's a combination of studies, not just one, which allows for the decreased likelihood of chance and bias within the results.
There's thousands of supplements, batshit crazy diets, and training methods being promoted by people based on their own opinions or a study on 4 mice. In fact, some studies are outright sketchy and end up getting retracted after other scientists called them out. Then there's the problem of supplement companies funding their own research. This doesn't always mean instant corruption, but sometimes it's purely used so they can make bold scientific claims about their proprietary products. VPX, the makers of Bang Energy, blew up a few years ago, partially because of their so-called super creatine. The owner made some ridiculous claims about super creatine's health benefits.
You can solve mental retardation as we age.
Bang was a big hit until Monster Energy sued them for nearly $300 million because the drink didn't even raise creatine levels in the body. But the bigger issue in the research isn't some dramatic scandal, it's publication bias. Studies with flashy, significant results are much more likely to get published, and that can earn researchers more funding, prestige, and more reason to tweak studies until the data tells an exciting story. But even when intentions are good, the methods still come with limitations. Take EMG studies. They measure muscle activation, not muscle growth. Yet some influencers treat them like gospel. Then there's DEXA scans, often treated as a gold standard for body fat assessment, even though they can be hilariously off. Just look at Matt Does Fitness, who somehow came back at 16.9% body fat while looking much leaner. And of course, some studies take it a step further, prescribing completely unrealistic workouts.
No one can squat 5 sets of 8 to 12 to failure.
These are some of the reasons there's a replication crisis in exercise science. Many of the studies are underfunded with a small sample size, and errors are not uncommon.
A recent paper reported that somewhere around 85% of the meta-analyses in our field have at least one statistical error.
It's not massively surprising, since exercise scientists have to be on top of running a lab.
The mathier folks tend to just kind of like gravitate to other STEM fields.
These are often far more lucrative, but that's not to say exercise science is corrupt or useless. In fact, it's usually the science-based crowd calling out the small sample sizes, sketchy data, and flawed methods in the first place. Ironically, most of the people who bash science-based fitness are science-based without realizing it. If you talk about things like intensity, volume, or frequency, you're already using science-based terms. The problem is that when scientific breakthroughs become common knowledge, people forget it ever came from science at all. So no, being anti-science isn't the answer.
No.
There's very few bad studies. There's poor interpretations, and there is way too broad of applications, but data is just data.
Most problems arise when influencers who are not aware of
Data, I hardly know her.
the limitations misrepresent
If your only goal is hypertrophy, deadlift is probably not optimal. That is factually accurate. Deadlift is bad.
studies to the public under a science-based veil, especially as a doctor. Fortunately, there's giveaway signs that a science-based expert is spreading misinformation, whether accidentally or deliberately. First, extreme claims and absolute language.
Spinach, not healthy for you.
If a doctor talks in always, never, or optimal for everyone, it's probably view farming as opposed to science. Second is miracle results.
Did you know there's a really fascinating experiment done on weightlifters? They lifted no weights for 2 weeks. They just sat there and they visualized themselves lifting weights. They had a 13% increase in muscle mass.
I think this one speaks for itself. Third, unsubstantiated claims of conspiracy.
I mean, even if that was true, part of going to the gym is just like being in the gym. It's like, for me, it's relaxing. I mean, I guess there's just some sense of camaraderie. I don't really talk to anybody. I have my earphones in my ears, fully blasting my music. But there's some sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Ethereal feeling when I'm in the gym. And to just, for 2 weeks, not do that and just think about muscle mass and increasing that. No thanks. I actually want to go to the gym. I actually want to put in that work.
Or suppress.
I'm built different, that's why.
Oatmeal is just, again, pure propaganda. The Quaker Oats Corporation, Kellogg's, Nabisco, and others. Oatmeal is for horses, maybe, probably not even for horses.
You'll hear phrases like, they don't want you to know this. Who are they? Because real science isn't hidden in some shadowy database. It's published, and often boringly public. Fourth is buzzwords without meaning. Toxins, hormonal reset, neutral drive optimization. If you can't explain it simply, you probably don't understand it, or you're just trying to sound scientific. Then there's using credentials over credibility to dismiss opposing views. Nobody, no matter how educated, is right all the time. Another red flag is when a person never admits error, because a doctor's response to a mistake is usually a lot more telling than the mistake itself. And finally, they use fear.
Fruit, fiber, vegetables, seeds, and nuts are likely deadly.
Now, not every red flag means someone's malicious, but when you start seeing all of these signs together, that's when misinformation spreads. That's when people develop disordered eating, stall their progress, or waste years chasing advice that was never based on genuine evidence. That's why it's important to listen to multiple experts. The best coaches and athletes use science as a compass, but understand you still have to walk the path. Exercise, especially at an advanced level, has an element of art to it. It's not just science. This is why wisdom and intuition should also be respected. These shouldn't be enemies, as they're complementary. So if there's one takeaway, be skeptical, not cynical. And remember, not everything under the science-based umbrella deserves the same credit.
Well, y'all, I appreciate you rocking with me. We'll check out another video another time. I appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Peace.